Rikki Schlott writes in the New York Post, "Don't stop at affirmative action, end college legacy admissions too." She is with us now. This is the idea, right, that a bunch of rich people, no matter what their race and ethnicities are all pretty much going to have the same experiences. If you want diversity, you need to find people who grew up on farms in Oklahoma.
And who don't happen to have the last names of all the buildings on campus, which, fortunately with the affirmative action case, we got a huge amount of data that we can access for the first time. And we now know that Harvard has about 42% of the white kids that are there because they're either recruited athletes, children of donors, children of staff, or legacies. And so it's rife, and it's a 3.41% acceptance rate. And so the vast majority of the kids that are getting in there, at least in that demographic, are there for the wrong reasons.
Have some serious you say it's the wrong reasons, and the schools will come back and say, look, we're private institutions. We have to have donor money, that people donate for this reason, number one. And number two, that we want to build a sense of community. And we make no bones about the fact that we believe continuing to have multiple generations come here adds to that. What's wrong with that argument?
I think it just flies in the face of meritocracy, which should be our ideal in this country.
They don't proclaim to be a meritocracy, though, do they?
Well, I think they proclaim to be the most elite and prestigious universities for the brightest minds and people who work hard to get there. And I think, unfortunately, there are so many stories of young people who did everything in their possible power. They were the president of the varsity team. They were starting startups in high school, and they get rejected because somebody else had the right last name or their family has the right bank balance. Like that seems pretty unfair to me. That's more of an aristocracy.
Well, when maybe in America we do have an aristocracy, but you're right. Your right is unfair. At the same time, though, we were told originally, right, that SATs and ACTs were the way to level the playing field. So you can find these incredibly exceptional young kids in Mississippi, in the Mississippi Delta. You can find them out on an Indian reservation in Oklahoma, on and on and on, and then bring them to Harvard and Yale and MIT and all these kind of places. But the same people who want race-based admissions say, oh no, the ACT and the SAT is unfair.
Yeah.
Then how do you level the playing field?
Well, I think you certainly need to reinstate SAT and ACT requirements, which are only recently just gone to the wayside.
Right.
And I think that's completely insane, considering that GPAs mean absolutely nothing today with grade inflation. So there's not a single metric that has anything to do with how excellent you are as a student, by and large, in my opinion, at least. So I think bring back the SAT, and also we don't need to know what your last name is or what your skin color is when you're applying. It should just be, merit-based, and you can look at a zip code, you can look at the school that someone grew up in, and I think that economic-based affirmative action would certainly be a welcome alternative.
Yeah, that people can be defined as different, not just based on their race experience, but their class experience, where they grew up as well. I'll put it this way. Dare to dream. Your enthusiasm is infectious. We'll see you soon. Thank you very much. It was great to see you as well. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.